I think I had been to an unconference recently at I/O. They sort of had a main conference and a little one-day unconference before, and I thought it was really fun. And I was like, hey, well, if we do that, right, we don't have to invest in all this stuff that we don't know how to do yet. We can just say, put ideas on the whiteboard and have fun. And that's what we did, and it worked really well.
Part of what's making Viz grow a lot, and I think D3 is directly responsible for some of this, is that it's accessible in the browser in a way that's got sort of a relatively low data point, a low barrier for entry. So having something powerful that can happen in the browser, where you can start with a sort of mark-based approach to drawing things, I think it's bringing people in. And the good and the bad thing is they don't necessarily know a lot of the history, so they recapitulate some things, but they're also standing on the shoulders of giants in other ways.
D3 meetups now, and especially this event, we have a much more sort of advanced kind of user group than we had at the beginning. We were just trying to make sense of the update pattern and basic D3 principles.
What's exciting to me is the ideology of D3 is one that is more open and less prescriptive than lots of other kind of frameworks or languages or tools around visualization these days.
I think the people is what makes this a good experience for everyone. Dr. Munzner, he basically came in the morning and told us everything we needed to know. It was an excellent keynote. And at that point, we're just like, okay, cool, that's wrapped up. Let's talk about the peripheral stuff.
I think a lot of what's powerful about D3 is not just the language itself, which I think is beautiful, but the huge, vibrant community that has grown around it. So there's examples and there's the blocks, and so people can get started very quickly because it's a very example-based community. So you know where to start. There's code that's sort of kind of like what you want. So there's basically, even though there is a strong learning curve, there's also a whole bunch of ways to get in.
People in our community just have this open-minded attitude where they know they're going to learn more, that they don't know everything because you keep meeting people that know way more about something that you never even knew you should be thinking about, and then you can start thinking about it. So
I sat in on the React one for a little while. I went to this other one about like foundational data viz. It was pretty cool. A lot of people had good ideas. Oh, I really liked this one I went to about games and data viz. Everybody there had great ideas, actually.
It was just very clear that everybody there had something to contribute and had something that's interesting to say, and it's clear that everybody was speaking from experience. And so it was interesting to hear what are issues people have run into, how did they solve it, what are different approaches. And so the caliber of people here was just phenomenal.
I think that something like visualization is a story that it's something that makes a story more widely accessible.
I think that playfulness is really exciting, and it's definitely exhibited here at the conference, right? You see the attitudes of the people that you're meeting at this unconference. Everyone's super open, everyone's super excited about what they're doing, everyone's super curious. And I think that's partially because the framework invites that sort of play. And I think that's partially why it's so popular, because it can be interpreted or used or misused or kind of packaged or repackaged in all sorts of different ways.
I think there's been a real diversity of experience here, which is great, because when you ask a question, you actually hear 5 different answers depending on the backgrounds people have.
We have graphics, fast graphics in the browser. We have lots of data. We have people that are trying to use that data to do something and hitting walls with pure computation, and that's then spurring a bunch of human-in-the-loop analysis.
So that's the kind of surprises that I encounter, is the different kinds of people that are using D3.
I always recommend the community coming to things like this, talking to people, seeing how they learned. And for D3, it's unique because there's this wealth of online examples and resources.
This year, coming back, I just had to, after doing the D3 meetups in Oakland, I had to come to a gathering where there was going to be so many people coming together and the opportunity to meet great minds, people who are doing wonderful things.